What is good, everybody? It's your boy Alex Ferguson, back again. Hopefully by this time you might have seen my introduction video kind of explaining what I'm going to be doing here on the channel. And for those who haven't or anything, I encourage you to go check that out. But I'm here just to talk about really just hip-hop, shoes, the sports that I know a lot about, being basketball and football. But really trying to make this a source for Arizona hip-hop. Get some aspiring rappers on here, producers, just anybody really making just some kind of buzz in the Arizona scene. We don't really have any channels that are pushing hip-hop here. Like we have some radio stations that show their support, but not really like a YouTube type of outlet. And the Arizona rappers here really do grind and really gotta push it as far as they can, and we definitely see it, people here. I hope to eventually make this a channel where I can talk to these guys, get some kind of podcast system set up, stream it as well as record it so there's content for the video. Just plan on doing some stuff like that for you guys. Today I want to get into, it's already kind of a hectic topic to start off on, but I'm ready to get the ball rolling. I want to see what you guys have to say about it too. So, today I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite rappers of all time. For any generation, just top 5 rappers, in my opinion. I'm not saying that this list should reflect yours or what yours should be on. Let me know what your top 5 is. This is one of my favorite conversations in rap music, honestly, is the top 5 of all time. I think next week I'm going to do a top 5 of or not next week, probably tomorrow, honestly. I'm going to do a top 5 new rappers, ones that have come out since basically like the 2016 XXL. Not saying they have to be XXL artists, because I don't really think there's that many that are in my top 5 that have been in the XXL, but going off of that, this video is just going to be top 5 of all time. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to go 5 to first. I'm going to go from the 5th spot to the 1st spot. So the 5th spot, I've got Kanye West. And there's so much I could say about Kanye, like what he does in the media now, I don't necessarily agree with. I don't really support him on his certain decisions, but I mean, to me, Late Registration was one of the best albums of all time. Like that still is my favorite creation that he made. I think right after that would have to be Graduation, and then 808s and Heartbreaks, because that was something super different. Not a lot of people were doing that. They were messing around with 808s, but from what he came from to bringing it to that style of music was insane, especially for me, and I thought those albums were the best. But Late Registration being the number one, I think my favorite album off of that was Drive Slow. That's still a song that I keep on my playlist now that I play in the car. Just amazing, all of them. Addiction, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, Hey Mama, Heard 'Em Say, just all of those songs are phenomenal. Gold Digger, just solid piece of work, and I thought he was great. His lyricism and what he says, and I don't know, I've just, since I started listening to rap music, Kanye West has just always intrigued me. And I've never owned a pair of Yeezys or anything from his, Adidas collaboration, so I don't really know that side of him, but definitely am going to put him in my 5th spot when it comes to music of all time. 4th, I'm going to have to put 50 Cent. I am younger, I'm 24 years old, and 50 Cent, the Get Rich or Die Trying album, was the first album that I purchased with my own money from doing like chores and taking out trashes and shit. That's the first album I purchased, and I purchased the album, I got the game, the Bulletproof game right after it, and everything was 50 Cent. I thought it was amazing. Like, I got that album and purchased it because I heard what is it? Shit. I'll come back to it, but no, I heard a couple songs he made off of the Massacre, and that's really what got me into it. But Get Rich or Die Trying is what I wanted, because at the time, like, Candy Shop was on the radio, in the club, like, shit like that was Wanksta and all that. Like, I was hearing that all the time, so I was like, I gotta get that album. I already know more than half of the songs on it, but no, 50 Cent for sure. Like, Get Rich or Die Trying is one of the best albums, I think, of all time, for, like, the change in rap and everything. I thought that was amazing, and then the Massacre to follow it. Yeah, that's pretty much it with that. 50 Cent, that's way too hard for me to sit here and just think of my favorite song of all time. I think the song I probably played the most by him was I'm Supposed to Die Tonight on the Massacre. I just love that song. I thought that was crazy, just the beat to it and how he harmonizes. I just thought that song was amazing. The third spot, I gotta give it up to Nas. To me, Nas is the king of storytelling. I think, honestly, Nas does it better than anybody when it comes to storytelling. I just think you can definitely paint a picture to everything he says, and he's mastered it. You can tell a lot of people that got into storytelling definitely didn't bite off of Nas's style, but definitely were influenced heavy by how he was able to storytell. At least to me, I think, like, J. Cole's one of the biggest. I think probably if you ask him, one of his biggest influences is going to be Nas, because that dude's storytelling ability is just insane. My favorite album by Nas is Illmatic, for sure, and my favorite song off there being Halftime. Halftime's another one, like Drive Slow for Kanye. It's on my playlist now that I go to work and listen to. I just love Nas. I think he's amazing. I don't know if a lot of you guys heard his newest album, Nasir. It's only 7 songs, but I might be biased just because of how long I've been a Nas fan, but I thought it was great. I think Adam and Eve is insane. I think that song is amazing on there, but I'm a huge Nas fan. The first album I ever heard from Nas, unfortunately, was Hip Hop Is Dead. Unfortunately because it was a bad album or bad work, but there was so much I had missed before that, you know? Self-proclaimed, all the Illmatics, so I really had to go and do my research on him, and then I heard Illmatic, and, like, New York State of Mind, Halftime, Life's a Bitch, you know, One Time for Your Mind, Memory Lane, Halftime, all those songs I just thought were amazing, and, like, once I heard his old stuff, it was just, I listened to only Nas probably for 6 months after that, honestly. And then I had Saints Row 3, and they put some Nas songs in there later, like when I was in high school, and it just spurred up again. I just started listening to Nas like crazy, so Nas definitely deserves that third spot for me. Second, Kid Cudi. And I love to argue against Kid Cudi. There's so many people that oversee Kid Cudi, in my opinion. But to me, I don't know how it was for other states, but in Arizona, and to me, and people my age, Man on the Moon is considered one of the best albums of all time. And to me, Man on the Moon is my favorite album of all time. Of all genres. If you follow me on Facebook or anything, or my friend on there, I have statuses that have talked about it on plenty of occasions. I think Man on the Moon is the best album of all time. I still listen to it from front to back to this day. I don't click over any songs. I think, oh my god, man, Kid Cudi's amazing. And I don't care what anybody says. I even like his newest album that only has 7 songs. Not even his newest album. He did have Kanye on there, which for me wasn't a miss, or an L, because those are 2 artists I have in my top 5. You know, Kid Cudi 2nd, Kanye 5th. So I loved it. I was in love with the album. Man on the Moon, though, is the sole reason why he gets my second spot easily, because I think that album is just fucking amazing. My favorite song by him is The Prayer. And The Prayer, just because I have to give it up to The Prayer, because that's what introduced me to Kid Cudi. I heard that song, and then shortly after I heard Man on the Moon, and then that's when music changed for me. That was probably the first album ever that I listened back to back in a sitting. Like, I went through all of it, and I was like, that is literally so good, I gotta do it again. You know, I know that when it came out, I was, like, late for whatever I had to do the next day, because I stayed up till, like, 2 o'clock listening to it. But yeah, no, that phenomenal album. And then the number one, the big dog, the guy that gets it all for me, when it comes to rap, the first rapper that I ever listened to, and I mean ever, the first song, everything was by this artist, and I gotta give it to Notorious B.I.G. Fucking Biggie motherfucking Smalls. I love Biggie Smalls. Everything that they've made, even like these fucking remixes that they've done later, I still think they're great just because Biggie, like, his voice, you know, like, I'm definitely a sonic listener, sorry, not listen to her, but I definitely, like, hear things sonically, and that's what drives me. And it's like, I think you could give Biggie, look at Juicy, right? Some of us are going to hear that beat nowadays with the shit that's coming out and be like, what the pause, you know, like, what the fuck is this soft beat and shit? And Biggie made Juicy, and that was hard as that was so fucking dope. So fucking dope. He just, like, I don't think there's anybody that hears that song and doesn't know words to it. You know what I mean? Everybody. My grandma knows the words to to that fucking song. I had Notorious the movie, and I know that changed me. I thought that was a great showing to Biggie's life. I've seen so many interviews and heard other people talk about him, like rappers and interviews and stuff, and I think it depicts him pretty good. But Biggie, all time, my second favorite album after Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi is Ready to Die, like 100%. Like 100%. Amazing album. Like, Suicidal Thoughts is my favorite song on that album, and my favorite song by Biggie ever. And not because I'm on some suicidal shit or depressed or anything, because I'm not, and that's not downing. I mean, that's a serious issue, and, you know, my prayers go out to everybody suffering with it, but that was an amazing song, man. Like, amazing. I remember hearing it and was like, god damn, like, people go through shit, you know, and, like, when I loved that people were going through shit and then putting it on paper, or, you know, putting it on wax and just giving us just works of art, man. Suicidal Thoughts is, imagine what that dude was going through, you know? Like, you see it, you hear it, if you've seen the movie, you know he went through shit, and I think that was like a song that he was finally like, fuck it, like, it's getting too much, I gotta talk about it, and he blew minds with it. To me, at least he blew my mind, you know? I definitely heard it later in life. I was born in '94, but I did hear it later, and it's just amazing to me. Yeah, 10 Crack Commandments, Juicy, Big Papa, Who Shot Ya, and which is dope because he's like a gangster rapper, you know, gangster rap. That's what I think sometimes when I think of Biggie, just because he's a real G, you know what I mean? But he hit so many different things, like Suicidal Thoughts, like, it's got a bump and beat, but it's deep. It's deep as shit, you know? And then you got Juicy, some funky ass beat. Big Papa's like the fuck it song, you know? Like, I'ma hype my damn self up. 10 Crack Commandments, another G ass song, just him, you know, talking his shit, the real shit. And then Who Shot Ya? I think that album, he really showed how, like, versatile he could be in gangster rap, like how much different shit he could make. And I think he's undeniably the number one, the best artist ever. And I know a lot of people are going to hear this list and be like, where the fuck is Pac? Like, Eminem, like, shit like that. I've listened to everybody, you know what I mean? And I love Pac. I do, I love Pac. He's in my top 15 for sure. I think I just fell in love with, like, the New York sound. Because Arizona's a mixing pot, like, or a melting pot. Like, if you've been here, there are so many different, you know, kinds of races and people here. It's insane. Like, you barely meet anybody that's, like, born and raised in Arizona. You know, especially, like, in the music scene. You don't hear that. and we had a lot of people. I don't know if it was just because the area I was in or anything, but we had a lot of people from New York come and live in Arizona when I was younger, and that's a lot of my best friends were from New York, just moved from New York, and this is the kind of music they were listening to, you know, like Big L. That's another one of my favorite. He gets like the 6-man spot, which I will talk about. I have some 6-man people right here, but Big L, you know, I heard Big L for the first time and I thought, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, listening to some other shit that we had over here that was big, and then going to like Big L and fucking Wu-Tang, you know, shout out to Wu-Tang. Yeah, that shit was just crazy. And then hearing Biggie, and the first song ever that I heard from him was Suicidal Thoughts. I was like, yo, stop. Like, this, who is this? You know, like, this New York sound, it just caught my ear. And I love how they rapped, and, you know, the image of it and everything. I loved it. Loved it. But the 6th spot, I've got Lil Wayne, Andre 3000, Gucci, Future, Drake, Big L. 6 people for the 6th spot, because that's where it gets like real difficult. I think I've had this top 5 like for as long as I can remember, and all these people being in the 6th spot. But yeah, that's really hard. Just like the 5th spot's so hard, because I would arguably put Lil Wayne and Andre 3000 and Big L in that mix at number 5 with Kanye. You know, they vary all the time for me, but I like to usually stick to my solid top 5 and just roll from there and hear what other people have to say and what their favorite songs are. But Lil Wayne, I think the Carter 3 is another one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, I used to bike back in the day, like some BMX shit, not no racing, but just, you know, just riding around the hood with a bunch of homies and everything, and just fucking kicking shit. And I'd listen to the Carter 3 like religiously back then, like just biking and putting that shit in there, running front to back. You know, to me that's my favorite Lil Wayne album of all time, for sure. Andre 3000, I got that the speaker box. It's that A side Andre, B side Big Boy album, and you know, I fucking love Outkast. Like, I'm gonna do a video too, like top 5 groups of all time, and Outkast sits at number 1 for me, and then Wu-Tang second, but Outkast is number 1 for me, and because of Andre 3000 mainly. Like, I think he's just as arguably as good as Nas at storytelling. 100% I'll stand by that, because Andre 3000 paints a picture too. Like, even in intros, just like regular ass intros where he's just talking and shit, you're like, damn, like I could see this situation. And I love shit like that. I love that real hip hop, like telling a story type of shit. And I think Andre 3000 is definitely one of the best at it. Gucci, just, that was finally like the music that like was being played at parties that I was going to when I was younger, and everybody finally started getting their first cars rolling around, and Gucci was like a big person that everybody listened to. So I fuck with Gucci for sure, heavy. For a long time it's been like that too. Like, I've always loved Gucci. Future, I mean, the father of the sound that we listen to now. Like, Future, there was a lot of sounds like in Atlanta, but I think Future's the first to be like, without him even saying it, was like, fuck it, like my sound's going worldwide. Like, now you hear people that aren't even from Atlanta, but they're sounding like Future. That's because he's the godfather of this shit, this new wave and everything. And yeah, he's just, you talk to like anybody that's new, or go and look at the new rappers' new interviews and shit, and they're talking about top 5s, and Future's almost in everybody's top 5, you know? Like, undeniable what he did for rap, you know, especially the rap we hear now. But I love Future anyways, so. Drake. So, what's crazy, when I was in high school my freshman year, I didn't even have an iPod yet. I had a Zune. I don't know if anybody remembers what the Zune was. I got it from one of my friends. Can't remember who he was, but I got it from one of my friends, and the only 2 songs on it were 10 Crack Commandments by Biggie and fucking The Ransom. It was the freestyle with Drake featuring Lil Wayne. And I heard that and was like, this is fucking fire. Like, who is this? I was young as shit, and my parents were pretty strict with, my grandparents were strict on, like, what I could listen to. If it had explicitly, like, hell no. So when I got that Zune and had it on the down low and everything, I listened to that song over and over and over and over again. And it's another song like You Play Today. I haven't listened to it in a while, but You Play It Today, I know every word to it, easy. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it all because there's shit in there I can't say, but, you know. So I heard that and then, like, looked up, like, who the fuck's Drake? And then saw that he was, like, in Degrassi. I never watched Degrassi, but I saw, like, who his character was and shit. I was like, oh, no fucking way. And that's, like, the first time that something like that happened, like, actor-rapper type of shit. So that's definitely, like, what introduced me to Drake was the Ransom song. And then the Young Money tape came out, you know, with everybody on it. Gutta Gutta, fucking everybody was on it. And I thought Drake was just hard as fuck. Like, my favorite album by Drake is, like, it's rough, but I think if you're reading this now, it's too late, is when I really started to respect Drake, honestly. Like, that was just amazing. And probably Take Care, but yeah, if you're reading this now, it's too late was fucking amazing. So many bangers on that, it's just ridiculous. And then Big L, you know, rest in peace of Big L, but fucking amazing. Like, he's just like, I encourage you to go and listen to Big L, and I'm not even gonna give you a specific song. Just go and listen to Big L if you like that sound. You know, he's older, of course, but listen to that shit and listen to Big L and what he says, and, like, look at other people around his time. And, like, there's not too many people that were as blunt about shit as he was. So I fucking love Big L. But yeah, I mean, that's my top 5. You know, I threw out the 6 spots. Tell me what you think. You know, argue with me. I love it. I love conversation. Let me know your top 5. Leave them in the comments or whatever, you know. Like, I'm obviously going to answer back to it. I'm here for you guys, you know. I'm here for you guys and myself. So I love the comparing and contrasting and shit. Just let me know what you think. Yeah, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to make that video for my top 5 new artists. So if you want to drop some comments on what you think your top 5 new artists are too, like, you can leave that in these comments or wait for the video tomorrow. Let me know. But yeah, good ass video, I think. Well, we got 23 minutes. I think I went over everything pretty well. Hopefully, like, I'm gonna be able to, you know, get some video editing eventually once I buy a camera. I'm doing this off my iPhone again. Not too much time to upload. I got working a little bit, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Peace.